who's joining us right here in the middle of the set. Pro Football Hall of Famer Brett Favre. How you doing, Brett?
I'm good. You guys are soft.
Why are we being soft?
Well, we should be outside, like really outside.
See,
we're not in Green Bay anymore.
Disappointed.
it's okay. I'll be soft. I don't want to go out there. I want to stay right here. I'm a dome guy.
You're a dome quarterback over there.
He plays in Green
Now,
Bay.
seriously, Brett, you would prefer, deep down, to be outside right there, -2, for the next hour.
He said deep down.
I mean, periodically. Out. It's really cold out.
Yeah.
Come on, man. When we used to play in this cold games, remember? We used to have our quarterback meeting in the sauna.
We did.
At halftime.
Hold on a minute. What?
Yeah, you poured a little of that water up, and it would get nice and steamy and hot.
The Raiders game. We played the Raiders there in Green Bay.
The Lambeau Leap game with Lee.
That was the Lambeau Leap. That was the start of the Lambeau Leap, and it was like 35 below wind chill. And we started our meeting in the sauna.
Yeah.
There's a sauna in Lambeau Field?
In the
Had
locker
mimosa.
room. In the locker room. And then you get all wet and sweaty, and then go back out, and it all freezes on you.
Yeah, that's
all
right.
But it felt good for 15
when Mike
minutes.
Holmgren's mustache froze over with a big snot glaze.
I remember seeing
It was
him.
awesome.
So Doug Peterson is the head coach, as we all know, of the Philadelphia Eagles. When was the first time you met Doug? When was the first time you and Doug got together, ever?
I think when we brought him in, and I don't know, I think it was 96.
Let me help you out. It was 95 because at the end we had Jim McMahon as the backup. Ty Dittmer got hurt, and then so he was out, and then Doug Peterson was signed late in the year. So he finished that year with a few games in 95, and then he was your backup for the next 7 years.
Yeah, I knew it was. And Doug and I, we joked about it earlier, yesterday or the day before. We spent a lot of time together, and we hunted together, we golfed together. We were roughly the same age. I do remember playing against Northeast Louisiana, and they won the national championship. In fact, that year they beat us in Hattiesburg, and they had a great team. Stan Humphries was the quarterback. Doug was the backup. And so, and we grew up in the same area, 3 hours apart. And so we just had a lot in common. And I knew that, and I can't say that I knew he would coach, but I knew that if he did coach,
He had something in him.
he had something in him. That's exactly right. You just know.
Yeah.
And I was kind of surprised that when he decided to go into coaching. But I'm not surprised that he's had the success he's had, and he's moved up as quickly.
You had a lot of good backup quarterbacks: Burnell, Ty, Hasselbeck.
Warner for 3 weeks.
Warner for a couple
Three
of weeks. Who else? I mean, you had all kinds of guys for 321 games. There were a lot of backups, but he was the longest backup that you had. 7 years, seven and a half years.
Think it was right around 8 years or so.
Come on, ladies
It's,
and gentlemen,
and it's not funny. It's funny now, but I didn't miss a game, but I did come out of games because of injury. And Doug broke his jaw when he came in.
Oh, my gosh.
He broke his a bone in his back, transverse process. Both cost him the whole season. Now, I came back the next week, but I remember like the third time it happened, we were playing against Washington in Green Bay, and LeVar Arrington, I think, tackled me and hurt my knee. And when I got over to the sidelines, I kind of gave it one of these. Doug had seen a ghost. You're going back in, right? I don't think I'm going, buddy. He's thinking, now what is going to end my season this time? So I put him in a tight spot a few times, but just a great guy, just a super intelligent football mind, and relatable to the players.
Now he had you. He had you address the team, the Eagles, yesterday?
Yeah.
What did you say? Can you? Share
everyone said, "Well, what did you think?" And I said, "Well, we'll find out today. What kind of inspirational speaker I am."
Well, I hope it wasn't as long as that Hall of Fame speech that you gave.
Oh my God.
Was it? Huh? How long did you go, man?
Wow.
What'd you
get
say?
one shot at that, man.
Come on, what'd you say? Give it to him. Tell us what you said.
That was about 12 minutes.
Yeah. Okay.
Yesterday. I think the first thing I did was just kind of how Doug and I know each other. Not that they wouldn't know, but and how close we are, and sort of kind of intro into why I'm here, you know. But then I basically told him, I'm not going to tell you anything you haven't been told or you don't already know at this point. And it's probably 2 weeks late, but enjoy this time. You know, we all know, and it's gotten bigger. It's a circus, and you almost at some point go, oh, by the way, there's a game.
Yeah.
With all the hoopla going on.
Right.
And it's easy for a player, and we've all been fortunate enough to be involved in Super Bowls, and even though it's not that long ago, in some ways it's a long time ago, you know, just the magnitude. And so it's easy to get caught up in all that stuff, and then 20 years later you go, you know, I don't even remember what happened. And so I just wanted the guys to know that whether they hear it or not, you know, it might be one of those things in one ear and out the other. But maybe it resonates with a couple of guys that, you know, I'm going to soak it all in every minute. And because you know what? A lot of great players that Dan Marino, first year he went, never went back. And if I was a bet man, if he were a bet man, if we all were, we would have all bet he would be back. And you never know. So enjoy the moment. And, you know, you got each other's backs, and that's what got you to this point, and enjoy it. And one thing I did tell them, there's 70 plays on average in a game on offense, 70 plays roughly on defense. The average play lasts 3 to 4 seconds. And I said, if you do the math, you're talking about when it's all said and done, you actually played about 3 or 4 minutes if you start every play.
Actual game.
That's not a very long time. And if you can give all you can for 3 or 4 minutes, which I think we all can. And, you know, a lot of guys were like, I can see them doing the math. It's not a long time. And so you spend a lot more time waiting on TV timeouts and between plays and things like that. So to keep focused for 3 or 4 plays and to give your all is a challenge.
Yeah, it's interesting because, I mean, you talk about that, and we talk so much about all those other things that it's probably managing the other things that's more important than those 3 or 4 minutes when you're playing the halftime, the pregame, you know, all the long timeouts. You have that famous shot that we see at Super Bowl time every year. You throw that touchdown pass, I think it was Andre Rison, and the helmet comes off, and you're flying around. Everybody's telling me you're hyperventilating on the sideline, you know, just because of the emotion of it. Was there anything that you told them about being able to manage that part of things?
Yeah, good luck. And I did talk about that particular play, and I talked about it because one of the things that, and this is a tip that could go to anyone, and later in my career is when I started doing it. I told the guys, I said, look, you're going to have a little bit of private time, alone time between now and the game. So go up to your room, and I encourage you to, you know, from an offensive standpoint, you got first 15. Defensively, you got certain blitzes and things that you're going to do. There's certain situations that you've stressed this week that when New England lines up in a bunch and they do this, expect this. Or from an offensive standpoint, 3rd and 3 to 6, we know they do this, but if they line up this way, expect. And what I was basically trying to get across to them is walk through that in your mind.
Yep.
Bark out the signals. Envision what you know, confetti coming down, and the crowd is just rocking and rolling, and being able to focus on what type of break you want to make on your route, and see yourself making that catch. Because I sat in the room all week long watching the replays, as we all did, of Super Bowls, and I kept seeing Razor, and Joe Montana in New Orleans, and I thought to myself, that would be really cool if I could do that. But we never checked to that play. I mean, it was in our book, but we never checked to it. New England played zero all-out blitz. First play of the game, lo and behold, I go, you got to be kidding me. And I had said, I think I've been here before, and I checked the Razor, and it works. And that's why I had my helmet off. Yes, I was hyperventilating, but it was like, can you believe this just happened? I was just thinking about this yesterday.
In the Super Bowl.
Hey, you said it, Brett. You said you spend time with Coach Peterson. So the other day. So you've seen him prepare for many games as your backup. What's the difference in watching him prepare for a game as your backup and watching him prepare for the Super Bowl as a head coach?
You know, I know there's a difference. There's a big difference. But when you get back to the simplicity part of it, it is what it is. And Doug was a huge prepare type guy. He was. This was back before it was. I guess illegal would be. You could have a headset and you could actually talk to the coach or talk to the quarterback from the sidelines.
Right.
Now you can't do. One person has that connection. And Doug. And I wanted this, and I know some coaches are against this and some players would be against it, but I wanted him to talk to me and say it's 3rd and 15. I had a tendency not to throw the check down, as we all know. I wanted Doug to tell me situationally what was at stake or little reminders.
You had him give you the play, too?
Oh. Well, sometimes he would. Sometimes he would say, expect cover 2, expect a weak safety blitz. You know, here's the down and distance, or here's a place on the field where they like to do this. I wanted to hear that, and he prepared. He knew. In fact, sometimes I would have him do, and you knew this, and I had Ty and Mark do. I used to have him do my first 15. I couldn't figure out what plays I wanted to run, so I'd say, Doug, come up with 15 for me.
Yeah, well, speaking of those guys, let's go back down memory lane real quick, okay? Let's show Brett this. Mike, this was a few weeks, we took this picture a few weeks before we came to play you in the NFC Championship game right here. You can see all the guys. Wow. Look at that guy. And that's Marty Morningweg over on the end. He ended up being a head coach. Doug's a head coach. Mike McCoy's been a head coach. Ty Dittmer was coaching BYU. Yeah. Brett Favre was coaching high school right there. Jim McMahon plays golf barefoot. This is 95. Mike, and we ended up playing you and Dion in the championship game.
Would have been nice to be in that picture.
Kurt. Oh my God, we should.
You know what, Kurt? I think it worked out pretty good. It worked out really well.